Picture this. A young man, full of dreams, steps into the world only to find a mountain standing in his way. It wasn't just any mountain, it was a colossal structure towering over him, a symbol of the obstacles that life had thrown his way. This was a young man with the heart of a lion, eager to make his mark in the world, but this mountain, this obstacle, it shook him. Its shadow loomed over him, casting a darkness on his dreams. He felt a pang of despair, a moment of doubt. But then, something remarkable happened. He remembered his dreams, his ambitions. They were bigger than this mountain, stronger than any obstacle. The young man looked up, fire in his eyes. He was determined to climb, to conquer, to succeed. The mountain was huge, intimidating, but he knew one thing for sure: he had to conquer it. It wasn't about moving the mountain, but finding a way around it. This is where the strategy comes into play. Overcoming obstacles isn't just about brute force or blind determination. It's about being smart, being strategic. Take our young adventurer, for instance. His first step wasn't to charge at the mountain. No, he started by gathering knowledge. He studied the mountain, learned about its terrain, the best paths to take. He read about other people's experiences, their successes, and their failures. Knowledge became his compass, guiding him through the rocky terrain. But he didn't stop there. He prepared himself, physically and mentally. He trained his body for the arduous climb and conditioned his mind for the challenges he would face. He knew that his body needed to be strong, but his mind needed to be stronger. He knew the mountain wouldn't move, so he decided to become the force that moves. His strategy wasn't about conquering the mountain, but rather conquering himself. The journey was tough, the path steep, but every step felt like a victory. Our young adventurer, faced with the daunting task of climbing the mountain, found himself confronted with obstacles at every turn. But he did not falter, he did not waver. Instead, he took on each challenge, each setback, with renewed determination. The harsh winds tried to push him back, the cold sought to slow him down. But he persisted. Each step forward, each struggle, was a lesson learned, a new strength gained. With every slip, every stumble, he found new ways to balance, to stand tall. He was not just overcoming physical barriers, but also breaking down mental ones. The mountain was not just a pile of rocks to him. It was a teacher, a mentor. It was a symbol of his spirit, his resilience. Every setback was a setup for a comeback. He was not just climbing a mountain, he was building resilience. And then, after days of struggle, he stood at the summit, victorious. His heart pounded in his chest, not from the climb, but from the overwhelming sense of accomplishment. The air was thinner, colder, but somehow more invigorating. He was on top of the world, literally and metaphorically. He looked back at the path he had traversed, the steep slopes and treacherous terrains, the moments of doubt and the moments of resolve. Each step, each breath, each drop of sweat had led him to this point. He realized then that the journey had shaped him, molded him into a stronger, wiser version of himself. The obstacle, the mountain, was not just a physical entity to overcome, but a metaphorical one too. It taught him perseverance, resilience, and the undeniable power of self-belief. It was not just about reaching the summit, but about the transformation that happened along the way. The view from the top was breathtaking, but the journey was even more beautiful. You see, we all have our mountains to climb. Each one of us, in our unique journeys, encounters obstacles that stand towering and imposing in our paths. These mountains, these challenges, they are as distinctive as we are. Perhaps your mountain is a personal goal, a dream long cherished, but yet unrealized. Or perhaps it is a hurdle that life has thrown your way, an unexpected struggle that you now must conquer. The beauty of these mountains lies not in their height or their steepness, but in the climb itself. It's about the will to take that first step, the determination to keep going when the ascent gets tough, the resilience to pick yourself up after a fall. It's not about the size of the mountain, but the will to climb it. Remember, every mountaintop is within reach if you just keep climbing. So, what's your mountain? Start your climb today.